outstanding amount on our receipt, and if I save that receipt, this time there is gain or loss generated, and I've now got a journal. So if I look at the journal, this journal is for the actual currency gain or loss transaction. Now, the Interprise will only post actual gains or losses at time of allocation. It won't do them any other time when we're entering the receipt or anything like that. It's only when we actually go to allocate the receipt. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is void a receipt. So if we go into down the bottom under tools, we've got a void receipt option here, and we can select from any posted receipt. So we're going to choose receipt number 1, which was the one for £100. So let's assume they sent us a check and maybe the check bounced, so we need to create the void receipt. So if we go into the receipt tab, use the void button on the toolbar, say yes, tells us there was no gain or loss posted there. But if we just go and have a look now at the allocation details, we'll notice that receipt number 1 has now been allocated against our void receipt transaction, and the invoice, if we already had an invoice allocated against the receipt, that will have been deallocated as well. So it does it all for us. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is create a customer refund. So we're giving the customer some money back, so we need to show it on our bank account, etc. So we're going to create a refund for a toy customer UK. Okay, it's just going to be a £10 refund, fairly straightforward. Bank account again, and we just save that and it'll get a refund number. There we go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the Intrastate Analysis. So hopefully the French transaction should show on our Intrastate Analysis. So if I go into here and do it for a range of a month, let's just see. Well, we can see already it's showing on there 110.96, which is the correct one. So until this transaction has been confirmed through the customer module, it won't actually show for reconciliation in the accounting module. It's the same for the supplier as well. So you have to confirm the Intrastate transactions in the appropriate customer and supplier module before they'll actually appear in the accounts module. So I'm just going to confirm that in there. I can also look at the detail behind it to see what exactly we've got that goes into that value, and we've got things like the supplementary units, commodity code. So whoever should be doing this should really be checking to see that all the details are on there, that all the correct things have been put in. So when I'm happy, I'm confirming it and I click OK, and that's now been reconciled from the customer ledger, so it'll now show on the accounts module. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create what we call a batch invoice, which is basically just a direct ledger invoice. And I'm going to do this for a toy customer UK. Okay, I'm going to enter a customer PO in here of test 001. And we're going to change the terms to be 30 days from the document date. Okay, and our figures are going to be £100 plus £17.50, £117.50 gross. Now if I change the terms back to the 40 days 10% discount if paid within 7 days, which is the top one. Okay, what we'll see is that the VAT amount has now been changed on the discounted amount. You can override this, but that's what it's calculating correctly from the terms. So on here I'm going to change the nominal analysis to be 4,000. Okay, so we've got £100 on there, but what I want to do is change that to be £50. So on here I'm going to change that value to be 50, and then what I'm going to do is put 4001 on the next line, and I'm going to also analyse £50 to that. And what I'll see is that the tax has been split between the two lines, so we've got 788 on one line and 787 on another. We're just going to save and close on this invoice. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just go and amend the preferences and switch credit approval on, which is here. And I'm now going to go and amend the customer record for, I'm going to find customer into Toys International, which is there. And I'm going to put a credit limit on this account of £1,000. So in the setup tab, £1,000. Okay, we're now going to create an order for Toys International. Consisting of bullet at £10. And if I use the control right arrow key, I can go straight from the quantity to the sales price without having to tab across or use my mouse to get across there. So I'm going to save that order. I'm going to create another order now for Toys International. Okay, and this time I'm going to have one bullet. This time at £100, and on the second line I'm going to have a handgun at £900. At that point it will come up and tell us that the customer is over the credit limit, so we can see that the system is looking on a line by line basis at the credit limit. It'll still let me save the order though, so I'm just going to save that order, but it will have now held it for credit basically. So if I now go into the credit approval routine, which is in the credit control folder, I think, no it's not, it's approve credit there under tools, and select that order, I can now confirm that through the credit approval routine to move the status on, so it'll be ready to pick the pick notes for. So until I progress this through credit approval, it's not going to let me pick the pick notes so that it can then send it away to the warehouse for picking. Okay, so that's that order gone through. If I now go into find order, pick up our latest order, we'll see that the workflow is now on print pick note, whereas before it would have been at credit approval. So I'm going to print the pick note for this order in batch document printing. Could obviously pick more in there if I wanted to as well. Next thing I'm going to do is go into the confirm picked routine and confirm quantities for my order, which is sales order 9. Now what I can do when I confirm items through here, what it will do is it will create an invoice for me automatically. So it's effectively confirming that we're actually shipping these items. So if I click the little plus button next to that, I can see exactly what goes into making this sales order. So I've got it ticked. I'm going to OK it. It says, are you sure you want to confirm? Yes. That order now disappears from the list. And if I now go into find invoice,